Hi, yeah, it's me again. 30 Days Poetry Challenge with Words Diva. It's just getting more exciting by the day. All right, so today we'll be discussing something that a lot of persons have been talking about. I have also talked about it a couple of times. And people have been asking me, what is actually the difference between page poetry and performance poetry? A wise man once said, every performance poet is also a page poet because before you take it to the stage, you have to get it on the page. Yeah, that was a punchline. All right, so it's true actually. Most times we're trying to differentiate between page poetry and performance poetry. Not like they are not different, they are two different things. But most performance poets actually page poets too. Because you have to write it down before you take it on the stage. Except for when you have to freestyle. But most times you tend to pen down your poem, tend to pen down that thought that is forming in your head. Express yourself either on your phone, but just on a notepad or a piece of paper. You have to just write it down before you take it to performance. Before then, you have to even memorize from a particular place. Get all your expressions together, get the poem in your head, become the poem yourself before you take it to the stage. So, page poetry majorly is poem written either on the surface, yes, paper or phone, anywhere, just for that thing to have its essence being read. That's the page poetry. In a simple form, that's page poetry. So it means you can understand that poem on a surface, like when it's being read by the reader. It doesn't mean that it cannot be performed, but then the essence of that is for it to be read on the surface, on a page. That's it. But for performance poem, these are poems that need to be staged. These are poems that need to be read aloud, performed on a stage. This is because some of the expression in the poem requires um performance, requires you to hear it aloud, requires there's certain things that you need to express in a certain way for you to understand that line of thought, for you to understand what the piece is all about. The poem has more essence when it's being read aloud or performed. When you hear the poem or you see the poem being staged, it gives you more meaning, more depth, more life. The word is just on a piece of paper. There are many times that people read poems on piece of paper and they're like, what is this poet saying? What is this poem all about? But it's better understood when you watch the person, like, oh, is that what you're trying to say? There are times I write pieces and I give people to read to vet, and they're like, no, this poem is a great poem, but I know it's going to sound better when I hear you read it aloud or just perform this poem. There's a particular life you give it, just like reading a play. When you read a play on a page, you read a story, it's interesting, right? But when you watch a play, it's different. You give it there's a certain life that is being given to it. When you watch it, like, oh wow, it's all exciting. It's like you're being carried along. It's like you're experiencing it. That is what poetry does to you. You experience the whole thing. Aside just reading and understanding, it gives you that ability to be in it. Yes, it's like as if you are in it. That's what happens to performance poetry. But the advantage of page poetry is that you have all the time in the world to just go through it. It's not as transient as performance poetry. You're reading it, you're taking your time to just research, look up a word, to try to understand that line by all means. But for performance poetry, if it's gone, it is gone. If it's a 3 minute performance, after that 3 minutes, you don't have it anywhere else. Except maybe you video it for you to go and watch it afterwards. But then when that performance is done, it's done. The messages are transient. It's on the go. You get it as it's dropping. You get the punchline as it's dropping. You just get it. You just listen to it. It carries you along. That's how it is. I hope you understand this. This video is longer than expected. Thank you so much for watching.